Today we're reviewing the Inlight 22-inch DC industrial style cage ceiling fan on the Home Tip Show. Let's do it! A few of the features that I really like of this fan are that it has a steel construction, so there's no plastic or wood parts anywhere. It includes a DC motor, and this is big because DC motors in ceiling fans are much more efficient than AC motors. It has 5 speed settings, includes the LED light kit. It's relatively easy to install, and it is UL listed for safety and includes a handheld remote control. This fan is available on Amazon.com for the price of $2.99. So here's a complete look at all the parts that come with the fan. Now we're going to head up into the second floor attic to examine the mount that the builder used for this light when the house was originally built. Safety first. So I'm going to be switching into some socks. I'm going to put on a set of shoes. I'm going to wear these gloves because I'm going to be digging around in the insulation. I'm going to take a good flashlight with me, and I'm going to wear this N95 mask just to keep all the contaminants out. And so there's our attic access. Well, to my surprise, actually I'm not that surprised. They actually did it right. They put a full, I don't know if you can see this metal bar that runs across here, but a full metal bar across here, and then the box is right there. I'm shining on the flashlight. So we're good. That is a ceiling fan mount, and so we should be good to go. I want to thank Inlight for sponsoring this edition of the Home Tip Show. Monetary compensation was provided and the fan was free. Sponsorships help me provide more and better content for you. Those of you that are subscribers to the Home Tip Show or have watched it for a while know that I always provide honest reviews regardless of sponsorship. Now, let's get back to the show. And here is the Inlight 22-inch industrial style caged ceiling fan, fully installed and operational. This fan would be the perfect addition to a game room, a Four Seasons room, a home bar, an industrial style kitchen, a kid's bedroom where objects are being thrown that could get into the fan, the garage, a covered porch, or any area that needs high circulation. Hallways, or really any place in your home or business where you are going for that industrial look. This fan includes the remote control and the fan light shown, along with the bulbs. If you're interested in purchasing this fan, it's available on Amazon.com, and I've placed a link to it in the video description. Here's a close-up of the remote control. As you can see, we have fan on and fan off at the top. We have our various speeds from 1, 2, 3, 4 to 5. This is forward and reverse. So typically you use downward flow in the summer and reverse flow in the winter, depending on the climate that you're in and where you're, what part of the country that you're in. This is turning the light on. This is light off. All right, light back on. This is the dimmer that you hold in. And then down here, I kind of like this feature. It gives you 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, and 8 hour automatic off. So, especially if you're laying down at night to, read a book or something like that, and you have this in a bedroom, hit the 1 hour button and the fan will automatically turn off in an hour. So this is the fan on the brightest setting. And we'll go ahead and hit the dimmer and go down to the lowest setting. So still a little bit more than what I would call an ambient light, but very nice kind of evening type brightness to have it set on. And now we'll head back to the brightest setting. And that's the brightest setting, signified by the double tone you hear from the receiver. So now we're going to go ahead and move to setting 1 on the fan, speed 1. Try to get close so you can hear it. Speed 2. Speed 3. Speed 4. Speed 5. So really all you're hearing at this point is the sound of the air, and you hear a little bit of the DC motor, but it's actually kind of a comforting sound, from my opinion. It sounds like a DC motor. I mean, what else can you say? But typically you're not going to be running at this many cubic feet per minute of airflow in the evening. So you're going to probably be, most times, down around 1 or 2. Let's move it back to 2. Can I hear the motor wind down a little bit? And really what you're hearing there mostly is just the sound of the airflow. So overall, I think that this is a pretty good fan. Let's start with the cons. First, the instruction manual could be a bit better. It can be a little bit hard to understand, and if you're a first time, if this is your first time installing a fan, it might give you a little bit of trouble. But for anybody that's installed ceiling fans, you should be able to work through it. Second, the flush mounting, where you don't use the down rod, may require 2 people for the installation. So I recommend, if you're going to buy this fan, that you definitely use the down rod. The down rod is included with the fan. This fan only requires 24 inches of space, of clear space within the thinnest ceiling, to be able to be mounted. I measured across it and it's 24. The fan itself is actually right at 22 inches. The blades I measured, and they're about 9 inches each. So doing some quick math, if I take 9 times 3, because there's only 3 blades on the fan, that gives me 27 inches of blade in the air at any given time. So I went to the room next door that has a Hunter $90 AC fan in it. It's a 42-inch fan. The blades on that are 16 inches long. And so there are also 5 of those blades on this guy. So that's about 80 inches of blade in the air at any given time. So that's roughly a 3-to-1 ratio of, this 42-inch fan compared to this 24-inch fan as far as the amount of blade in the air. So what they're having to do to compensate for that, for those smaller blades, and still get the same or better airflow than a much bigger fan with more blades, is they're having to spin that motor about 3 times as fast. And so, when I say here that, the DC motor is quiet, but it could be equipped a bit quieter, I believe that that's probably mostly due to the fact that they are spinning that motor a lot faster to get the same amount of airflow out of it because of the small blades required for such a fan that takes up such a small space. So I don't want to make a big deal out of this. I've just installed much bigger DC motor fans that you just can't hear the motor at all. But in this one, you do hear it a little bit. So it's just something to be aware of. Again, this is not a showstopper, not a big deal. I wouldn't not recommend this fan because of it. But it is something that, you should be aware of. As far as the pros go, it's a beautiful fan. Very stylish. It has that industrial kind of look. It kind of reminds me of the thought I remember having is when I was putting it up, it's like if Apple and Tesla got together and designed a ceiling fan, this might be what it would look like, right? It's very, very cool. The oil rubbed bronze finish on this fan is well done and is very even and smooth and looks very nice. The DC motor is much more energy efficient than an AC fan. As a matter of fact, that can be up to 70% more efficient. So if you're trying to be more environmentally responsible, this is a good fan to buy. The remote control and the light kit, which is included with the ceiling fan, are a really great value. Today I did a check on Home Depot, and the remote control kit with the receiver is running anywhere between $50 and $80 depending upon which one you get. And the light kits are an additional $30 to $50 if it's not included with the ceiling fan. So you're getting a lot of value here. The DC motor, the remote control, the light kit, and the oil rub bronze all included in that price of $299. And then finally, the fan's very easy to use. Once you get it installed, it's very easy to use. You can turn it off with a single switch, turn it back on with a single switch. It remembers which settings it was set to last and turns back on to those same settings. And with the remote control, you can either wall mount that or place it next to the bed so it's on the nightstand. Whenever you want to turn the lights off at night, you got the remote right there to do it. If you enjoyed today's video, or videos like this, please help us out by subscribing to our channel and liking the videos using the thumbs up icon. Also, hit the bell icon to be notified of new content as it posts on the Home Tip Show. Thank you, and play safe. If you enjoy our channel, you can support us by donating to our Patreon page by clicking the link in the video description, which takes you to the Home Tip Show page in Patreon.